credit goes out to Susie Cleghorn, who's taken over the management from me for the last few years, and the GB team goes under her tutelage from strength to strength to strength. Supported very closely in terms of hockey operations by her partner, Anthony Pixie Parkin. A prominent figure out on the pitch, the rink, as we've agreed to call it today. Pixie being a slightly ironic nickname for him. Welcome all. I hope you've managed to get up in the US and are taking a nice little lunch break in GB and are all now upstanding and ready for the national anthems. If they could just find them on the CD player, that would be great. They're still struggling just a little bit with the whole concept of getting the national anthems right, but they will get it eventually, maybe 2 or 3 years from now. It's bound to happen. Bless them. They're only volunteers. People gathered in from the streets. Hey, want a job? And here we go. Please be upstanding. A rousing rendition of God Save the Queen, sung loudly and proudly by the boys on the rink and the chaps right here in front of me. Most of the vets team have come over to support their lads. USA a little on the quiet side there, electing to video the national anthem instead of sing it, but we're hoping that maybe as the competition goes on, we'll get a little bit more voice from them. They weren't shy singing last night in the bar, Team USA. And every bit is up for it. We've got a great contingent here of American fans, the wives, partners, girlfriends, sons and daughters, lined up supporting the lads out on the rink. GB in full force here. Many good friends of mine and vets giving it big licks all in front of me. Let's just mind your language, eh? Children are watching worldwide. Good old Nigel, always trying to keep it underneath the 9 o'clock watershed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and good morning to you on the USA, East Coast. Very early morning to you, clinging onto the edge of the bar stool. If you're on the West, we've got lunch break now in the United Kingdom as the boys gather around the goal and try and inspire themselves to meet and greet their American cousins and see if they can turn over this special relationship and make it a little bit ugly. They're going to need to, because the Americans are strong, forceful, technical, quick, and absolutely tenacious. They will come right out of the traps and underneath the chins of the GB team. The lads I know, though, every bit as up for it as the Americans will be, and I expect that GB will also be coming straight out of the traps and maybe try and do something a little bit special early doors and catch the Americans on the hop. You join me live here in Bolzano at the Palo Hondo Arena for the fourth quarterfinal in the World Masters Inline Championships, USA v GB, the winner of which will go on to play Italy, who with flair and panache beat Canada in the quarterfinal earlier on today. Much to their disappointment, Canada expected. They got up early, but didn't quite put it together. And I know the lads are really disappointed. How is this match going to play out? The Americans taking their time and controlling the neutral zone just so far. Speculatively diving in. Not being able to get the crossing pass. Coming up against some skates. GB trying to maybe skate it out, but getting picked off by the high American forecheck, which is exactly what we'd expect. I might even expect the Americans to forecheck even higher under a little bit less pressure. Rebound out behind the net, and Marcel Malley turns and tries to get the Jets in full power. Rebounds off of American player number 5, Jamie Yoder. Yoder frequently using the force to prevent any pucks leaking through. America breaking through the neutral zone in a diamond formation. Big unit, number 26, Mears. Taking his time, very dangerous position. Tried to sneak it in, but Ricky Cooper, the GB keeper, equal to that. There's a nice little long pass, a little bit bobbling. That's really unfortunate. Really wanted that to be a little bit better, Newberry. Could have done something with that, he fancied it. But Americans gather and roll it round in the neutral. Limbega, 89. Putting some fuel in the afterburners, see if he can get some pace. Tried the crossing pass, but it met the skate of Pixie and Timmy Parkin. Ironic nickname that, considering his considerable size. Monroe Morris, the GB debutant, new to the side, and a big part of the reason why GB have done so well this year. His skills and talent have really brightened up the GB team. A little bit of miscommunication there, though. That's in a dangerous position. But the Americans are clearing right back to start again. GB forechecking at least up to the neutral zone with Gregor, number 14, Finlow, just keeping the Yanks a little honest. Here comes some Jets now. The American team. Happy to play with it in the neutral zone just for now. Big Mike Enright. Takes the puck in behind, but didn't want it. Wasn't nice enough for him. Likes his dinner served cleanly on his plate, and so wasn't having those scraps. He'll wait for something better. This could be something. Off the bench. Danger. Rister. Cooper keeps it. Watanabe, number 2, USA, came off the bench there and got in behind the GB defense. I had a really good chat with Enright last night. Real stand-up chap, and he's got such passion for this game. And had some really kind words to say to me about some of the people back home in the US of A that are watching, friends and family. A few people up early, a couple guys maybe still clinging onto their bar stools for their lock-ins. Watanabe's getting sent away from the face-off here. Not quite sure why, they didn't even put their sticks down, but referee says go, off he pops. And Kaj clearing. Number 24, John Cadwallander, we call him the Kaj. And he is a heck of a catch. If you see him, he cuts a fine figure, the chap. For a little fella, he's pretty strong. And he's been playing absolutely tremendously so far in this tournament. Cooper just discretion, the better part of hour there. Still no whistle. No weaknesses in the GB side this year. There's an awful lot more depth and strength in all the lines. So a threat at all levels. Will they be enough of a threat for the Americans who are resurgent? This is dangerous, Watanabe. Had loads of blank space up there and wound it up, but couldn't find a target. Cooper, a game-changing keeper for Team GB. And keeps the scoreline very, very close. Watanabe's stick handling still's not quite getting in there enough, but the good backhand into the open space, looked in behind. Some really deft handling skills from the American captain. Stick handling skills, good has he. Yoda, number 9. Really patient and just went in behind Cooper once he'd committed and gone forward a little bit. GB have got to keep their chins up though. They started really brightly, 15:09, so just 5 minutes gone in this first period, and both teams looking good. But the Americans do have an awful lot of tools in the toolkit, as yet undisplayed. GB are going to have to really push. And USA will get physical too. GB don't mind it. They might not be used to it, playing some of the more flair teams from the European sides, as they have done since their presence here right from the very get-go. This is danger now. Americans like to stick handle. Wrister gone high, and no danger. A couple of results earlier on for you, for the benefit of those who are just tuning in now. We sort of know what the finals are in the Masters, or the semi-finals. The high side is going to be Switzerland versus the Czech Republic. And Italy will face the winner of this match. Can GB manage to hold off this powerful, aggressive, forward-thinking American attack? Big Eddie, Vega. There he goes, trying to stick handle, waiting for the right pass, but couldn't get it. Got a little stip on the GB defender, just got a little tip there. The Americans still cycling dangerously. Tried the crossing pass, McGrath, but didn't find the tape. It was a risky pass that off the boards. The board's not exactly always consistent here, having had the ice melted and the surface slightly a little bit lower. Some gaps around the corners that you can see just a little bit there. Can catch a puck every now and again. Enright, aggressive, not patient, wants the puck now, wants to impose himself. Americans do the circles in the neutral zone. Here he comes in, down Main Street, gets a little tackle, backhand cheeky. Did Ricky cover it? Just with his back foot. Dangerous there, GB. You've got to watch those positions and keep up high on their toes, because the Americans will absolutely speed straight down main and take the shots at Ricky. I think they fancy that they can stick handle themselves right into dangerous positions right up the center of the crease. They didn't win that face-off though, and that's lucky. Kaj sending it round, and then GB breaking out nicely. Mali turning, two options. Decided to go for Kaj down this deep side here. Mali picking it up. Now picking up things, he's dangerous. Can he go for a wraparound? He's possible. Didn't quite get the opportunity. Number 7 getting the stick check in. USA break on. Stretching GB defense. Wrister from far, but well high and wide. Mali's got the jets on. Getting a little bit stick checked. Slap shot, kind of bobbling from Robbie Coolstock. GB a threat going forward. They looked really good going forward in other matches. American defense might be a little bit tough for them. And the Americans having to stretch and push themselves a little bit to defend against quite a quick GB attack. Marcel Mali there. And so number 17, Shook, sitting down and watching his teammates play for the slash. What can GB do on this power play? Pixie teeing it up. Give it to... Oh. Newberry thought he could pot one in there. Pixie didn't tee it. Newberry wondering what he can do. Two people at the point. Pixie way back. It's a good thing he's there, because the Americans, short-handed, have picked up some possession. Newberry. Pixie maybe just getting a little bit wrong-footed there, but Newberry saw the danger and picked it up. Cross-ice pass. Just missing. Monroe Morris trying to mop it up. Still didn't do it. Americans danger playing for it in front. GB gather, luckily, and a penalty called. Team captain Simon Hare is not sure why he's going. No one seemed to see Simon do anything. I had a quick look on the feed briefly, but I couldn't see any infraction there. Maybe he's got the wrong guy. Nevertheless, we have a 3-on-3. Captain Simon here sits in the penalty box. A little confused. Number 17 for the Americans, Shook. Also maybe a little confused. Danger. Watanabe's not confused. He knows exactly what to do. Lurking dangerously around that back post, waiting for a crossing pass. And with the power of the force behind him, number 9, Yoda from Team USA, found his tape. And that combination, deadly. USA 2, GB 0. Just about halfway through the first period. And some interesting questions being asked about why isn't Simon coming out of the box. We remain 3-on-3. Marcel Mali sending it back to Ian Parsons. Experienced player. Marcel maybe just trying to do a little bit here with his stick. Wrister just caught a deflection off the American defender. Monroe Morris trying to dig. Maybe looking for a little something. Getting really well hustled by Watanabe. And maybe just doing a little bit back to him. Some danger here for Team USA. The Team GB not immune to a little bit of attacking play. Slap shot, rebounds behind, and Watanabe wisely sends it right back to Shuki as he comes out of the penalty box. And we go for just 19 more seconds. Short-handed on the GB side. Team USA attacking dangerously. Watanabe lurking. Mears looking around. A little bit sloppy passing. Not quite so sharp. Here comes the 4. American shot in, goes nowhere. Watch out for Watanabe to try and stick handle through. They want to get some pace going. Comes in for the screen, round the back. And a lucky escape now, can Captain Harry find Newberry immediately behind, but the American keeper just too good for that. Jamie Buffalino, too good for that. Gonna have to really exploit those chances when they come. Buffalino coming out for a little leg stretch. He's quite an athlete, Jamie. He's telling me about all the hockey he's been playing recently. So he's at absolute peak physical fitness, and it's evident in the way that he plays in goal. I guess that must be why he can afford to spend so much time in the bar and doing such a good job. And there's a bit of a shocking result there. Limbiga coming a cropper with Terry Bryan's stick sliding underneath it and just tripping him off. I think he had to do it to be fair. Tell, the highest capped GB player currently, maybe doing what he thought he had to do just to prevent what could have been a potential goal. GB go short-handed again for the second time in this first period. 8 minutes 38 left. USA are up 2. Could have been more, but isn't. USA winding up. No dice. Newberry trying to escape with a bit of stick handling, but gets caught. Americans in good shape, managing to sneak passes underneath GB sticks, trying to block it out. Pixie pushing, trying to clear the space in front of Ricky Cooper, getting Limbiga out of the way. There's a slight mass difference there. Mirzi, danger. Limbiga gathers up. And Americans continue to just hover over the carcass like the buzzards. And a little bit of argy-bargy in the front of the crease. Now the referees decide to send Pixie away. Anthony Parkin for his efforts. Bit of roughing and slashing on Yoder, the two of them. The battle of the units. Trying to get physical and impose themselves in front of that net. Okay, here we go. Monroe Morris, number 49. He's got the legs, just stretched a little bit. Wondering about the trip. The Americans think it's fantastic defense. Referee's arms are down. Now he goes again. He's in another position. Does he want to pass? Does he want to use the legs? Floater. Parsons coming in, steady on the puck. Had to go around the referee there behind the American net, but just compressed by not one but two American defenders. Watanabe gathering up at the red line and slowing things down a little bit, maybe letting Americans get fresh legs, and wants to get in that Dangerous position at the back of the goal. This looks dangerous. Ooh. Wrist gone wide. Oh, we really wanted that. American number 2, we really wanted that. There's a big open gap here. Windows were open on this side of the house in the GB net. Ricky Cooper blocks that. Sneaky little rat that was trying to get through his legs there. The Buffalo sends a long stretch. Americans couldn't capitalize. Watanabe getting frustrated. And then Wright deciding to go backwards. Getting a little pace going now, trying to run up some speed. Open the windows. Put some wind in the car. Saved by Ricky Cooper. That was a sneaky one. The Buffalo participating in a long pass, stretching. Watanabe coming in on the backside, but compressed by Tel Bryan, number 19, who got back in just enough time. A little bit of pressure there. Good hip check. Digging, frustrated. Tel Bryan lost his stick. He's got to go. Coolstock comes on to replace him. Americans putting pressure on Watanabe in a Jordan position. Takes a shot but deflected. Finlow. No one in a passing position really, except for Malley, who was just behind him. Had to turn and circle though. Little stick handling. Could be dangerous. Looking for a wraparound maybe. Looking for someone to pass to in centers. Decides to take the shot himself. Buffalino shutting that door. GB playing a good aggressive game here. Forechecking, keeping tight in the attacking zone. Not content to sit back. Harry takes the puck in a high position. Tried to stick handle. Couldn't pull it off. Now it's a 3-on-2. Danger for USA. Oh. One mistake being met by the next. Enright couldn't handle it. Hit his skate. Went forward. Whoa, danger. Ricky, what can he do? The puck was being exchanged. One mistake being met with another. GB, then USA. GB, USA. Ricky had to stretch forward, and there was an opportunity to go above him, but they couldn't lift the puck, and Coop saves the day. GB hang on in the last 4 minutes. USA 2, GB 0. And holding their own against this USA side, which don't seem to be actually quite revving at full power yet. Good for their GB team. Hopefully they'll keep their spirits up and come out really strong. Pixie just losing his footing there a little bit and using Cooper as some kind of walking aid. Pixie gathering calmly in front. And then to Newberry. Behind Monroe Morris. Couldn't get the Jets going, but this time he does. Oh, Buffalino. Seeing a potential danger there. Stretches and poke checks nicely, but Newberry gets it back. Buffalino, athletic, skillful. Put his stick down and bounce that away. Newberry wants it now. Gathering it from between his skates, going deep, turns. Put a little push from behind. There's the referee's hands up. Unfortunately, they didn't get a chance to capitalize and maybe get 5 outfield players on. But the big fella will come and sit. He'll think he's just doing his job. Big Mr. Mears. Keeping his training going late last night by adding a few pizzas to his considerable amounts of supper that he'd already packed away. Yoder having a little chat with the referees about perhaps that incident just then, maybe just seeing if he can influence the next call. Team USA last night in the AGM for the Masters. It's noted for in that meeting for just how much it means to them to come out here this distance and, you know, to some considerable cost and represent their country, and how proud they are to do it as well too. And they had some really great ideas. It was really good to listen to the American contingent putting forward some ideas and suggestions for the development and the future of this game, and really keen to see it continue. I was really impressed with how much they demonstrated the importance of these games to them. And haven't they done well to the final in their first year? Could they be going to the final again? Maybe again meeting the Czech team in a revenge match that could be different this time with the Americans in full force and full squad. First they have to get through GB, and GB have the power play for another minute and a half now. They've got 2 goals to make up. Could one come here just before they go to the locker room for the half? Newberry, Parsons working together at the back to try and make the space. Slap shot goes in, Newberry. Monroe Morris just looking to pick up any scraps in front of the Buffalo, but once the Buffalo starts grazing, there's nothing left in front of him. Americans short-handed. They can do this. They can stretch. They can race. Ooh, that was a very speculative shot. Could have got a tip, but Ricky Cooper equal to it. GB regather. Cool stock. Coolly down this wing. Looks for some space. Pixie teeing up. Couldn't get it. He's going to get back now. Watanabe, can he beat him on pace? Pixie's got to cheat. He doesn't know what else to do. This hands are up. It's going to be a penalty shot. It's got to be a penalty shot. Pixie did everything he could do. He knew he couldn't beat him on pace. He knew he couldn't do it. Watanabe, probably not happy, but he's got a smile on his face. Rather heavily interfered with. Referee comes to the box. Is it confirmed? Certainly is. Number 2, Brian Watanabe, USA, prolific goal scorer, against Ricky Cooper, experienced number 1 GB keeper, patient, committed, and Watanabe looked like he lost it. It looked like he lost the puck in a repeat of the penalty shot that the Canadians had earlier on. The Canadians failing to capitalize, but somehow Watanabe picked up his own fallen fruit and potted. Cooper will be disappointed in that. He thought he might have just had him. And the USA team goes up 3 just before the half. 2 minutes left to play. GB have still got a man advantage. What do they do? Monroe Morris has got the legs, playing with Parsons, steadying the ship at the back. Good passing will be the key here. A little bit of a bobbly puck though, tricky for Ian to deal with. Sends it back to Harry. Harry's looking for a gap, didn't find it. Quick pass. Newberry looking for a gap, searching. Nice little pass to Harry though. Goes in deep. Buffalo had to save it. He's just too good. Mears, age 26, getting ready to leap out of the box. Keen to go. In a danger position now. Someone's got to warn Ian that he's there. did pick up the puck. Good defender, Ian. Oh, the crossing pass. Just tumbling along the surface and not quite settling. Shot denied by the post only. And the Americans playing a little bit of soccer. Whoa, there's too many men there. They got caught. It was a bit unlucky for the Americans because they were doing the change, but the Americans will complain about that. The American captain's just saying no one's touched it, but unfortunately, it doesn't matter because it interfered with the play. The American was saying, look, in the interpretation of that rule, it depends on influence, but arguably we say that irregardless of that, because there was too many players on there, it might have interfered with the GB progress. And so, just as they were free to go 4 on, we go back down to 3. And we'll have a minute in this half, and a minute in the start of the second for GB to try and repair a little bit of damage here. Holding their own really well against what could potentially be certainly the finalists. Coming up, outstanding shot. Roberto Goldstock. Killer slap shot from way out in the suburbs. It takes a lot to beat the Buffalo, but that did. So GB making use of that man advantage and doing just what they needed to do, maybe just before they go to the half. 50 seconds left. Well, that'll keep their spirits up then. That's good to go to the changing room with. Maybe they'll come out and do some more damage. First, they've got to hold off the Yanks for 1 more minute. Shook, number 17, quick glance to the clock, another one. What does he want to do? Does he want to wait? Yeah, he's in no rush. See what Labita can do, number 77. Sends it back. Hawkins wants a shot, takes the pass instead. Americans try to go down Main Street, but road works. Slap shot. Hail Mary as the seconds tick off. And GB hold on and go to the changing room, fresh off the back of their first goal of the match. And only 2 behind, with Americans on 3. And having to do the work, Team USA. And they knew they would. Didn't think that by any means this is a foregone conclusion, but they do certainly expect to be going through to meet Italy in the semi-final. That's game number 40. Likely to be held. If I just quickly look at my schedule, game 40, so very likely Italy versus one of these guys at 8:30 this evening local time. So do your calculations. 8:30 this evening, one of these teams will be meeting Italy in the high semi. Still plenty of action to come here today. Live streaming on Lepis Hockey on YouTube. Colleagues and friends of the organizing committee and David Ninzati have volunteered to come here and help us out and work together with us to bring you some live pictures from this event. And especially now today that we're in the quarterfinals. Things getting a little exciting and the picture emerging of what kind of hockey it takes to get yourself to pick up that Stanley Cup-esque version, our prize, the World Inline Masters Cup. for the second year running now, a giant golden statue. And a prize worth fighting for, as was demonstrated last night late. All the managers, organizers of the teams coming to share their appreciation and impress upon the organizers how important this ongoing, growing, evolving competition is to everybody and why we play. And last night in that meeting, every nation resoundingly, emphatically and enthusiastically voting to continue to make the sacrifice, to do the hard work, and to continue to grow and expand and work together, very, very much in the spirit of camaraderie and team effort. It's not a professional organization. In fact, there might be more news on exactly how the professional organization is going to be structured in the future. More news on that potentially later as things are officially organized. But much discussed in that meeting going forward for World Inline Masters. And as a result, we're certain to have another one next year. And I'll confirm where that is as soon as that's been cleared by our officers. But stay tuned for it and get prepared for it. Your brothers, your dads, your coaches, your mates, they'll be coming back and wearing that badge on their chest. And I dare say few could have worn it prouder and demonstrated that than the American team last night in that meeting, who were almost, in one way, I would say, arguably the most enthusiastic about continuing to press forward. The Canadian team organizer, desperately wanting to play himself, but just a couple years too young, echoing those sentiments equally and saying that however much it costs for those two guys to come along, it was so important for them to be here that they're willing to make that sacrifice. And hopefully, so do their partners, their sons and daughters, their work colleagues. I know that a few of my work colleagues who might be now sitting at their lunch with their phones on, tuning in, are doing me a pretty solid favor and letting me come out here and do a bit of work when I really should be in another box somewhere else sweating, instead of this one here in the Palo Hondo Arena in the sweltering temperatures of the Italian countryside in the foothills of the Dolomite Alps. But as I said last night to Enright, this is the easiest hard work I've ever had to do. And it's a real pleasure. So I hope I do justice to the chaps who are out there doing the really hard work, skating around in this heat, on the rink, putting their bodies on the line, like Pixie had to do there to stop what could have potentially been a goal. And in the end, maybe couldn't hold off what was inevitably going to be a goal one way or the other. Team GB doing a great job here and holding their own. There's only 2 goal difference in it, and it could have been a lot more. Number 9 Yoda just having a little cheeky tickle of the referee here, maybe trying to see if not the next call, but the next call after that can be just gently influenced. Hockey's a tactical game as well as a physical one. Doing a little neuro-linguistic programming. Team GB went to the locker room just being a goal to the good. And now, will they come out with that energy, ready to go? A little bit of zip in the step there, tries the wrap around, but just compressed by McGrath, number 93. Couldn't get the wrap around in. Parsons just directing some traffic in the defense, watching the player, not the puck. Cadge one-on-one marking now in behind, making sure that no one's at the back post. Americans got no outlet pass there. The outlet pass, what am I on about? Oh, it was a late night last night. Americans circling ever dangerously closer. GB defense quite bunched up, but Americans couldn't capitalize. Oh, this time they might. A little bit of a misstep. Absolutely swinging. Projected shot, but set and saved. Another referee having a little chat with some of the GB defenders as they gather up on the bench. A lot of discussions going on with the referees. Okay, what's Harry got in his legs? Pushing, stretch, nice little 1-2 pass. Harry just going a little off target there. Monroe Morris gathering and sending back to Anthony Parkin, who plays in a deep holding role at the back, but can skate from time to time if influenced. Once he gets the momentum going, you'll find him rolling all the way to the goal to get into dangerous positions, unexpectedly, but dangerous there too. He's a big unit, hard to shift. GB will have to back check now without his influence back there. Crossing pass not quite coming off. Monroe Morris gathering. Harry just struggling to get his footing there. Pixie tired from his run all the way up to the nosebleed section, so he wants to get off quickly, take a break. That change made in a good enough time. Americans trying to stick handle their way through. Enright looking for dangerous spots, but shots are going a little bit wide. They're not really getting on the target. GB quite good at the sort of generally defending and you know, getting up, interfering with the sticks, interfering with the shots. So Americans just struggling to find the target as accurately as they normally do, not being allowed to gather their pace and really attack from the back. Shook looking to press. Well defended, couldn't find a gap there. Goes on to the other side, nothing there. Cycling in the neutral zone. Americans trying to penetrate down that side. Crossing pass though is pretty good. Little sneaky puck that just deflected. Didn't get gathered quite well. Could have been a big chance there. The windows were open. Little love tap there. Another little love tap just to let him know he's around. Gibbons fighting. Finlow, physical. A big ask against big number 34 Enright. And a decent shot. They made the Buffalo jump up. Well, that centering pass went through everybody. Americans not seemingly that energetic going forward just yet. Maybe just taking a little break after the rest, not wanting to run out all of their energy. And a testing little shot from the back. Marcel Malley encouraging the Americans to scooch away from the front of their keeper. Face off in the GB end. Again, those passes not quite coming off. Everyone's losing their footing a little bit. Might have been a bit of a slippery spot there, perhaps. Yoder, no look pass. Using the force. Turning, stick handling, trying to go on the short side here. Door was shut. Crossing pass. Watanabe doesn't want to shoot. Tries to off-foot the GB defense. Watanabe, stick handling. McGrath, crossing. Still staying high. Intercepted. What can he do? Colstock scored the one goal they've got. Tried the wrister, but Jamie absolutely scooped it up. The Buffalino. Good with the glove, good with his hands. GB face off in the American zone. Almost, but not quite won. Harry maybe just trying to mop up a little bit of loose handling by Limbega, but not quite. Americans building from the back, centering pass. Oh, Ricky Cooper had that puck rolling up. Got rid of it a bit quickly though. Wanted to keep the play going, maybe catch the Americans off on the back foot, not expecting what to do next. Newberry can, he's got the legs. Munro. Harry, slapper, wide. Newberry mopping up though. Does it go back to Pixie? Whoa, a little bit errant there and making Pixie skate for that. Americans, here they go. There's the forecheck. But that's well dealt with. Harry's got it. Can he hit on the pass? Stretching a little bit. Munro Morris out a little bit wide. Oh. Couldn't do the nutmeg and go between the legs of the American, but tried. Tell Brian now on a new line with some fresh legs at the D. Coming into play and breaking out nicely. Righty with a shift. Bouncing puck, still in front. Oh, Buffalino, poke checking out. Now he wants to come and get involved. And he's got the space for a floating long pass. More like a quarterback. He threw that 50 yards. One end of the ice to the other to stretch. And now the Americans are a little bit excited. Wow, well picked up, well defended by Righty. Saw the potential danger. Finlow chasing back on the forecheck too, so GB pressurizing the Americans and maybe making it a bit difficult for them to build something a bit pacey from the back. And the Yanks really like to, get the Buffalo involved. He wants to be a part of it. Ooh, what did Righty do there? What did the puck pop out into the American bench? Jamie Buffalino at the back there being used as a fifth outfield player practically. Keeping himself awake and busy. Almost the crossing pass there. Watanabe could have dealt with it, just missed it and had to go and fish it out from the corner. Still got it though. He can turn. He's got really good skills, quick with his feet and his hands. And GB just opts to clear. Marcel Malley almost getting on the end of that. And the forecheck for GB really causing some problems for Team USA. Here's a 2-on-2. Breaking quickly, Marcel Malley with a zinger. Caught the big American defender. Bobbled up. Americans were lucky there. And right, 34. Looking to move in, dangerous position. Over top the crossbar. Only comes up to about just below your shoulders. So it's a little lower than expected. Cooper gathering that shot. And a little bit of argy-bargy in front of the net there. Some rough stuff. So maybe the Americans getting a little frustrated that it couldn't have been more. They're 2 goals to the good now. It's 3-1. We're in the second period, almost halfway. So 10 minutes left to play. Americans maybe thinking that they'd get a few more goals here. GB doing very well to hold off this considerable American threat. Newberry attacking with pace. Captain Harry kicking the puck, keeping it on his stick. Sends it backwards to Newberry. He comes in and follows. Just mishandles a little bit. Now gets puts under pressure physically. Just gets muscled off. That's pretty good, solid defending by the American outfit. You know, really good physical hockey. Crossing pass does well. Vega can't make it count. Americans holding in the corner, waiting for the right opportunity, but relieved of the puck. No, and then he's on his own. He's on his own. He's really trying to press. Oh, the puck managed to just scooch in front of the goal. Monroe really stretching now. GB turning on some jets, thinking that they might just be able to capitalize. The Americans just a little bit on the hop here. Can GB capitalize? Monroe Morris pouring on the afterburners. Try and make a difference. Gibbons now up at the front. Not wanting to commit too much, waiting to see what the Americans are going to do to break out. And here they go on this side. And right. Quick. Backhanding it, muscling it. Try goes backhand. He was going to go high, but Cooper scooped it out of the thin air. Nine minutes left. It's USA 3, GB 1. Good morning to you guys in the USA. Hope you've joined us here on live stream Lepus Hockey. Today is our last day with these chaps, volunteering their equipment and time to come and help us out. Tomorrow we'll have X1 Multimedia and the full package back on for our semis and finals. One of which looks like it just may yet be USA versus Italy. And maybe versus Czech in the final. And a repeat of last year's epic battle. The Czechs so far having been a little bit up and down, but always just doing enough. Scrambling in front of the GB net here, off the moorings. And GB just holding on. Americans trying to now put down a marker. The heat and the temperature telling, you can see tired legs. Lots of matches already played. Each of these teams have already played 5 matches over the last few days. Got a keeper timeout. Looks like some difficulties there, letting Ricky Cooper sort of sort himself out. GB team helping him reconstruct his architecture. The referee wants to drop the puck, but not sure whether they understood that it was, they were taking a minute for the keeper, as they're inclined to do. About to drop the puck, and away we go. America winning that face-off and in a dangerous position here. Yoder being patient. McGrath and Yoder using the neutral zone. Here comes a bit of pace, some stick handling. This is dangerous. Oh, really waited till Cooper committed. And then all the flair. That was the kind of difference that I think that USA needed to try and penetrate the GB. Solid defense so far, but just caught on pace there. And that's the extra tool that the USA can bring. GB had done really, really well there to try and hold them off and prevent further damage, but that level of skill, that's difficult to stop. I mean, what do you do against a guy who can beat you on pace? Great hands and great movement. And that's the sort of thing that the USA team now, despite the tiredness and despite the fatigue of having playing in this stealthily hot jungle heat like arena here in the valley of the hills of the Dolomites in northern Italy. My goodness, what it's like to skate around out there. Well, I can't imagine. I've done it before in Ligiaro, outside under the microwave of the tented outdoor construction in Ligiaro for the friendly tournaments that we hold every year, and that's like some kind of special torture, that. Well, these guys putting everything on the line and the pace that they've got out there, I mean, they must be absolutely dying. So I sympathize with them. And it's starting to show a little bit tired legs. Maybe not quite so eager to jump on every little loose puck. And certainly there must be a thought of both of these teams wanting to conserve a little bit of energy. The loser of this match will play again against Canada in the lower final. Watanabe just caught a little stick blade there. Just a little stinger. Just going to watch the replay feed there and see how that happened. Well, it was Mali who was just stretching forward and reaching, but I think his stick just rode up and caught the eyebrow of Watanabe there. Now, what's been happening is that if it draws blood or an injury, then the penalty is a 5 and the rest of the game. Mali's furious because the referee seems to be interpreting it as somewhat intentional. A key player for Team USA, Glenn Evans, is not playing in this match, you'll notice, because of exactly the same thing in a match previous. He was penalized unintentionally, tapping a player in the face with his stick, received a game +1, made an official query, made it an official query. Now, what's happening here? Marcel Mali going and having a little word with his American counterparts and just sort of saying, you know, fess up here, was it intentional or not? Team GB player Gibbons maybe using discretion as the better part of valor to keep him quiet. Mali can get upset. He plays, he's an emotional player, plays at his best when he's angry, but he'll be really upset to have to sit for that and go for the rest of the game. Gibbons playing the diplomat here and now also coming in sitting for Mali for what's on the board is 2 minutes. But the referee indicated 5. So let's see what the final call is. There's still some chat going on. Team captain Harry skating away, but chattering away. I think it's time for the referees to get some control of this now. We've had our say. Let's let the referees do their job and play the game. Two countries divided by a common language, and the special relationship under full test as we expected here. Team USA still floating around in front of the GB bench. Probably a few choice comments coming from there. Still conversations going on. Mali has come back from the locker room to sit in service penalty. It says 2 minutes on the clock. Referee indicated 5 earlier. Has there been a conversation? Unfortunately, the referees unkindly are not kind of giving me some kind of signal, so I know what's going on here. So I'm speculating that they decided that the Americans maybe fessed up that it wasn't an intentional and that it's just going to be the high stick. Maybe blood wasn't drawn, and then the discretion from the referee was allowed. We have Marcel Mali, number 72, sitting for 2 minutes. Not ejected from the game. Glenn Evans was ejected from this game and the game he played in. There's a little chop there. Harry won't be happy with that. And now the stick's starting to fly around a little bit. A little bit of niggle now, just adding a bit of spice to this. And GB holding pattern. Well, the Americans buzz around. Let's see if I can sort of confirm exactly what the precise call was or how things have panned out. Best guess is that the indication was, as they have done on current form, that the referees were giving that penalty as a 5. But somebody maybe on the American side in a very sporting way said don't do it, knowing what it's like themselves to be victims of that and being deprived of Glenn Evans, who is bitterly disappointed and absolutely gutted that he couldn't come out here and play with his former team. Denied by the post, the USA. GB under some real pressure here. 5 minutes left to play. It's 4-1 USA. Ricky Cooper doing his very best. My apologies, I can see now from here by the different color of the pads that Cooper's gone for a break, and quite rightly so. He's been working very hard out there. And we've got Dan now in the goals for Team GB. Americans kind of sensing now that the game is in their control totally. They'll be keen to sign a few of their names on the team sheet, get some goals, but maybe only just absolutely the right ones. And Bega trying to find a gap in there. Loose puck not being quite dealt with cleanly by GB. This time it can. Just on its edge there, the puck couldn't get clean away and GB couldn't gather it up. Switching out to some fresh legs. Number 10, righty. Dan Morris there with another save. Change of keeper for GB. Danger here. American can... Whoa, that puck was absolutely floating right across. Could have been picked off. This is Finlow trying to get through. Disrupted. Put him off balance and he couldn't make it count. Now this game's opening up a little bit. People pushing themselves to make one last contribution in the last 3 minutes and 43 seconds. Team USA. Yoda using the force. Couldn't find a way through. Gathered by Monroe Morris. Get some pace now. Fresh legs. Strong line coming out. Number 1, Monroe Morris. Captain, Harry. Newberry, number 7. Pixie at the back. GB cycling. Newberry under pressure from the forecheck. Typical of the Americans. Watanabe can do that. He did it. Disrupted. Oh, he just waited a little bit too long for that. Monroe. What can he do, Newberry? Can he get his stick on it? Can he take it off of Enright? Too strong. USA gather. Looking dangerous going forward. Watanabe in this corner. Tried the centering pass from behind the net, but didn't come off. American captain. Pixie comes forward to Newberry. He's going to try and start from behind, get a little pace going. Wants to turn. Monroe Morris just mishandling there. A little unfortunate. He's shaking his own head there. He'll take a break. Got to watch out, though. Americans could come and exploit that. Look at this danger. Oh, well blocked by Pixie. Turned his back on it and just stretched his stick out. Maybe a little bit more luck than virtue on that one. Watanabe tightening his grip. Did Dan save it? He did. Wow, that was an opportunity for them to strike. Americans maybe a little frustrated that they're not a little bit better than they could be. They're doing enough, certainly. It's 1 minute 35 left. USA 4, GB 1, doing enough. But GB absolutely standing firm, standing fast, and holding off the worst of the American onslaught. And accounting for themselves really, really well against last year's finalists and silver medal holders. Just a bit of a problem with the time clock. Not quite setting off. Maybe the timekeepers down there getting a little bit hot and bothered themselves, sitting all day in this heat. There's only 1 minute and 20 seconds left to go, so they won't have long before they can go and take a walk and take a break. Looks like the Americans and Team GB could all do with a bit of fresh air. It's been tough, been grueling this afternoon in here. But both teams, Team USA doing enough, and GB doing as well as could be expected, and better than ever before against the exceptional talent of Team USA. So we are now looking like Team USA going forward to the semifinal at the high side versus Italy. Team GB will meet their colonial cousins of Canada, disappointed from earlier quarter. And the Americans, just to finish things off, put to bed their last little opportunity. GB have got nothing to be disappointed about, though. That's a score line that they've got to be very, very happy with. Difficult as it is to take that 5-1 versus USA and a super strong USA side. That is nothing to be ashamed of, lads. It's a tremendous effort. The best GB side, well, ever. Playing tremendously well. Lots of talent on display here. Good pace. And really good technical hockey too, you know. The standard for GB rising all the time. And that's credit to the staff and the GB structure that's working hard to keep putting those together. Trials. Organizing year on year, getting people ready to go. And doing what they can in the UK. Not as many facilities, not as much infrastructure as other countries, and to still manage to put together a side like this of really exceptional talent. But it wasn't quite enough today. We didn't think it would be, but we hoped. The passion for both sides in playing this match was completely on display, and the special relationship tested, but not to breaking point. And GB have got to be pleased, if not proud, to get one goal against what could be here the potential champions. USA 5, GB 1. A grueling match in this heat. And I think both teams can go away from this match with their heads held high. I enjoyed that. Well done, Team GB. That was a tremendous effort. And USA, now you can start to plan your afternoon by settling down for Game 40 versus Italy, which will occur at, let me just consult my board here, 8:30 p.m. today. 8:30 p.m. Local time. Do your calculations. Team GB just waving and showing their appreciation to the friends and family who've come out to watch, and all of those at home in the United Kingdom just finishing off their lunch. I hope you enjoyed watching these gents come out here and play, doing their very best. Big mountain to climb. And they did a heck of a job. So well done, Team GB. And congratulations, Team USA. Imposing themselves and going forward into the high finals. Again. Pipping their North American cousins. And demonstrating some raw talent. Stay tuned, folks. I'm going to be back here on Lepus Hockey on this live stream today for the high finals, game number 39 and 40. Game 39 coming at 1900 hours local time. And game 40, you know, the USA v Italy at 8:30. Game 39, Switzerland versus the World Championship holders and 6-time winners, the Czech Republic. Hopefully you'll come and join me then. It's been my pleasure. I'm going to take a little break now. But don't worry, Aussies, you guys will still be able to watch this match, because the gents upstairs will still be streaming it for you. And I'll come back with you a little bit later on this afternoon. Cheerio for now. Well played. USA and GB.